Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.
Hello, how are you? I'm Ron Chappell. I'm the co-host here with my buddy Al, who you'll see in a minute, here at Proudly We Served. I am the chaplain of Vietnam Veterans Association Post 777 here in the city of Richmond, Indiana. And I'm glad to have my buddy back with me today. Al, how you doing, man? How are you?
I feel great, and I just really appreciate all the prayers and everything that people and all the kind remarks during my time with this COVID thing. Let me tell you from somebody now that's been there, it's very real. And take it very seriously, and when you're out, protect yourself with a mask, try to do the 6-foot distancing. And besides that, I'm representing Veterans of Foreign War, Post 1108, and I'm just really really glad to be here today.
You're blessed.
That God has chosen that I could survive all of this. So with that being said, let's get on to our host here.
And for folks who would be questioning, we are at a safe distance here. That's why we don't have our mask on. We do have our mask. Okay, and at the conclusion of the program, we will put them back on. We had them on before, and we'll put them back on. So, okay, so Al, you wanted to share a few things before we moved into the program.
I'd like to share the fact that Cronin Toyota, who sponsors our program, we will be involved in the Toys for Tots with the Marines this year. We did that last year. It was very successful. We'll also be on a major food drive to gather food. We are helping out now with Circle U. We are using our outbuilding, if you will, for storage of dry goods. And we just have an overabundance. You would not even... I could not believe the amount of food. Skids and things like that. So those are just all good things the community needs. And they said that they have so much because it's kind of been so overfunded. So
we are a good thing for that.
And we are taping this on Election Day. But we would like to see get out the vote. We're like everyone else. The veteran community needs to be well represented. And then the last thing is the Veteran Day ceremony, which has kind of been up in the air and was going to cancel it. I think we're going to try to go ahead with that. We're going to do the social distancing. We will be requiring you to wear a mask even though it's outdoors. We also will be handing out masks if you don't have one. We would ask that if you're at that ceremony that you wear a mask and show the respect that the county and city and all those guidelines that they've put out. So, and then that'll be at 11 o'clock on the 11th day, which is a week from tomorrow, and be 11 o'clock. So
Veterans Park?
At Veterans Park, and it's the rule of 75 will apply. I'm gonna ask the county for a slight waiver in case we go over that. I don't really anticipate us going over. I can't remember one except last year when we had the UE was here. We had a lot of people here, but I cannot remember our gathering kind of being any more than that. So those are just things in the veterans community, things that Cronin, who has been so gracious to me the time I've been off, I actually missed 27 days, I think.
But you're still there.
So
still here.
Still there, still here, and trying to get back to my old grindy self again. So
okay, well, we love it.
Well, with Ron,
we love it.
And carrying on the program, I really miss that. I really miss talking with people, communicating, and I haven't seen him in a month probably.
At
We've
least.
talked on the
Oh,
phone,
that,
text, and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
that's not the same as face-to-face.
Yeah.
So.
But talking about representation of veterans and people we like to talk to, our guest this morning is someone, he's been with us before,
Right.
Brian, and I don't want, I'll see if I can get this right. He's the, now see, don't even get there. Brian,
You do
good
it.
morning. Welcome to the program, Brian, again.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you could be here. Okay, so give the folks your official title.
My job title is a Disabled Veteran Outreach Program Specialist, and I work for the Indiana Department of Workforce Development.
Okay, now, is that a sub-entity of the state Department of Unemployment, or is that a
The
separate
Indiana
entity?
Department of Workforce Development does handle unemployment in the state of Indiana.
But is it a separate entity? I mean, is it just run by itself, or
No, it's a part of the state government.
state government actually? Okay, I got you. All right. So, okay, good.
So how are we doing with employment from your standpoint with the veterans, Brian, and all that stuff? Is that
The unemployment rate in Indiana is actually doing fairly well right now. The national unemployment rate in September was 7.9%, while Indiana's overall unemployment rate was 6.2%.
Oh, that's good.
And the 9 counties that we cover here in eastern Indiana are actually doing a little bit better than that, and that 7 of the 9 counties we serve are below the state unemployment average.
Wow.
that's
The only
that's
county
excellent.
that we have that's significantly above the state average would be Fayette County, and they're at 7.9%.
Yeah.
Wow. So, do you see an increase of customer service? I mean, veterans coming to the program. I want to give credit to you being on our program before that people got the information and they came to see you.
Yeah, and actually, right now I'm not seeing a lot of veterans coming into the offices. And a lot of that is, a lot of them are still working, or, we're in this current, COVID situation where some people just are afraid to go out right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But we've got options available to those people that don't want to come into an office. We offer virtual services. I can do pretty much everything my job entails over the phone.
Yes, okay.
So it's just a matter of getting the word out to those veterans that, hey, I don't want to go out in the public, but you can still receive services right now anyway.
Can they Zoom into you? Like if I wanted to contact you, could I Zoom into you like we're doing here today? Or
What I use a lot is I use Microsoft Teams.
Okay.
And we can use that, or I can set up a Zoom.
That's easy.
Really, a telephone call is really all I need to get started with someone.
Right. Okay. So, I read an article about some upcoming things that you've got going on with regards to Veterans Month. Some special employment opportunity.
Are you going to have the job fair?
The fair. That's what I'm.
The job fair, are you going to have that this year?
Thank you.
I have not seen
What
it.
we did with the Veterans Resource Fair this year is we had to do it virtually. And what has been going on, and it's probably going to end next week, is Whitewater Broadcasting, which is WFMG there in Richmond. They have the ESPN station in Richmond, a station in Winchester, one in Connorsville, one in Rushville, is that they've been doing a social media highlighting 5 to 10 either employers or veteran resource providers for us.
Okay.
I contacted a lot of our vendors that have been to our event in the past, and they were really wanting to come to Richmond again, but their employers basically said, with the COVID situation, we're not going to allow you to go this year. That's why we went virtual.
Right.
I think we could have done the event because the Raper Center is so big, and the way we've been set up in the past that all of our tables were 6 feet apart anyway.
That's right.
I think we could have done it. It just didn't work out this year. But next year we do plan on going back to the Raper Center and having a live event.
Okay. But can we still access those people through you?
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of employers in Wayne County and the surrounding area that are looking for help. A couple off the top of my head, Stanton, Connorsville is really looking for employees. Silfex over in Eaton, Ohio, they've had several drive-in job fairs over at Dayton. Yeah, I can't remember if it was, I believe they were in the parking lot of the UD Arena is where they've done a couple of them. Basically, anybody that's out there looking for work, I encourage them to get into Indiana Career Connect, which is the state of Indiana's job searching website, and check out the job openings in there. I also would suggest that they go to Indeed.com and look at Wayne County. There's several employers advertising job openings in there as well.
So for people in general, really, there should basically be nobody without a job. I mean, if you want a job.
I think right now, if you really want to work, you can find employment. It's just, is it the job you want? A lot of times, and when the pandemic first hit, and people were starting to get laid off, I was emailing veterans and telling them, there's nothing wrong with taking a survival job.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing. I was
if you've got to get back to work, a survival job's the way to go until you find that job you really want.
That's right. That's right.
Do you think people are reluctant because of COVID? Are they reluctant to look for a job? Are you secure in that? How do I want to say that unemployment venue where you're not working and you're, when the state was paying $600 a week, I think it was. A lot of people just didn't want to go back to work because it wasn't worth their time, if you will. So what are you seeing with all that?
There were some cases where, people were, with that $600 federal benefit added on to the state's unemployment benefit, they were making, as much or maybe even a little more than what they normally did.
Sure.
And, with the COVID, some of them were happy to stay home until that federal benefit ran out.
All right.
Well, I think that's, of course, that's what you hear when you're out sometimes. Back then, I had not had the COVID stuff, so it was just a matter of precaution that Cronin took of laying certain people off, if you will, to thinning things out a little bit to make sure that it didn't get spread, because this virus is a very, like I said in the beginning, is a very real thing, and you have to cope with it because you're talking to people all the time. That would be concerning to me a little bit, to make sure people are wearing masks properly, that they're the 6 foot distancing and all that stuff. That would be something I think that you could be almost overly cautious with. But for your sake, when you're face to face with somebody all the time, you've got to be able to deal with that. So I don't, and a lot of people just can't deal with it. They just can't. So.
Yeah, and in all of our offices, we're using all the precautions, the social distancing.
Sure. Yeah.
Everybody's wearing a mask when you're meeting with somebody. For example, I'm working out of the Connorsville office right now because we don't have an office in Richmond. But anybody comes in and uses the computers to file their claim or search for work, as soon as they leave, we're sanitizing those computers down.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We wipe stuff down every day. One of the things
that I want to make sure I mention, since I already said we don't have an office in Richmond right now, is they are working currently to get up some mobile sites to come to. But right now, any veteran or anybody that needs help from us in the Work One offices can go to the website easternindianaworks.org and schedule a virtual appointment with one of our career advisors.
Okay. So that's.
I want to make sure I got that information out today, because we don't know if or when we're going to have a permanent office in Richmond again, but they are working on setting up some mobile sites.
Now, Brian, when you say in your specialty, disabled veterans, is there a certain percentage established by VA that would allow a person to receive your services, or is there?
Basically, what I deal with is I deal with any veteran that has a significant barrier to employment. We have 12 significant barriers that are listed that we help.
Okay.
Being a disabled veteran is just one of them. Basically, the form we have them fill out when they come in, we have them do a self-attestation form.
Okay.
Basically to attest that they are a veteran and they have one of these barriers to employment. The disabled veteran barrier is either 30% or more, or if it's 10 to 20% and it's determined a serious employment handicap, we can help that veteran as well. But we also help homeless veterans, recently separated service members who've been unemployed for 27 or more weeks, offenders who've been recently incarcerated, or really for me, if they've ever been incarcerated.
Right.
Lacking a high school diploma, which every once in a while we still see somebody who lacks a high school diploma. Mainly our Vietnam era veterans for that one. Low income individuals, veterans that are between the ages of 18 to 24. A veteran who's in the VA's VOC rehab program would qualify. A transitioning service member, somebody who's just recently gotten out that needs individualized career services. Wounded, ill, or injured service members who are receiving treatment at a warrior transition unit. And also the latest barrier that we've added is anybody who served during the Vietnam era.
All right.
That seems to me, with all of that you've listed there, that would be such a difficult thing to get guys motivated and just, especially the world, the way the world is today, and with all those problems and getting jobs for them. That is really a tribute to what you do. I mean, to me, that's just outstanding.
You know what's troublesome?
Well, the big thing is getting them in to the offices, sit them down, do an assessment, and then we work out what we call an individual employment plan and give them some goals to work towards. And then as part of those goals, we also give them some objectives to reach those goals.
You know what's troublesome to me, guys, is as I'm driving around, going different places, and I see these guys on the corner with a sign that says, "I'm a veteran. Can you please help me?" Now some of them are phonies. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Because I've pulled up to them and I've asked them, what unit were you in? And they start, stammering and stuttering, and ask them what their specialty was, MOS or whatever. They can't tell you, and then I chastise them for it. But there are those who are valid. How do we get to those guys? How do we reach them? Is there some kind of, I thought maybe of a mobile cruising service or something to go around and pick them up and bring them in for counseling or something.
It's so difficult because guys don't want to talk about like what you do. I mean, that's got to be rewarding, but it's also got to be concerning that you're getting things done. You know what I mean? Because the veteran community, like he's saying, I think sometimes maybe we've kind of overplayed that, or we've tried to overplay that somehow with the veteran community. I don't personally think that you can do enough for a veteran, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of people out there that don't think that way, and they don't.
When I see the individuals like Ron mentioned, First thing I do is give them my business card.
Okay.
And offer to take them somewhere and sit down and talk about, what they need as far as work goes.
Sure.
And when we get those individuals into the offices, it's just like the old saying, you just peel away the onion and go different layers to find out what's going on with that individual.
Right.
And what do we need to do to help them overcome those barriers to employment.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, if we can just get them to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the big thing is just getting over this COVID thing. If we can get through these next couple of winter months, get into maybe the February, March, where the weather's better. They're saying it's going to maybe have a harder toll in the winter months, but we just have to ride with that. We can't stop going out and doing what you're doing. You just can't stop that. You have to still continually be out there doing something.
Brian's going to be there providing the service. We just got to get people connected to the service.
Exactly. We just have to make that connection.
Yeah, because when the pandemic first hit, we actually closed all of our offices and everything was virtual. And there was 25 of us. We actually got transferred over to help with the unemployment staff.
Wow.
Some of us worked in the call center. Some of us helped adjudicate claims.
Right.
So I was actually out from the end of March until the middle of June.
Okay.
Wow. Amazing.
So there was nobody there to provide your service, or they just...
Basically, we let the offices take care of anybody that needed help.
Right.
But as far as a veteran representative at that time, we didn't have one.
Okay.
It was basically all hands on deck to help with unemployment when they had the big rush.
Right.
Well, it seems like by all things and accounts that with the newspaper and the news media, the state is doing pretty well. I mean, it's pretty well managed with their funds. They've got through this unemployment thing probably as good as they could have got through it.
I tell you what, my hats are off to the unemployment staff that works the call centers, does adjudication, our fraud control unit. My hat's off to those people because ever since this pandemic hit, they've been working their tails off. Contrary to, you're always going to hear the horror stories.
Sure.
But these people are bending over backwards to get these claims adjudicated and taken care of.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we're getting close to time here. Brian, again, just for clarification purposes, tell the folks your title and just a general idea of what you do, and then we want to give them the contact information in terms of how do they get in touch with you.
Okay. I'm Disabled Veteran Outreach Program Specialist with the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. I can be reached. My phone number is 765-238-0007. That's this right here.
Okay.
And I can be reached by email at brea@dwd.in.gov.
Yeah, right. We got 5 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes. So, is there any other area in your specialty that you want to put some emphasis on, Brian?
Basically, just to repeat, if you're a veteran that's looking for a job, you're not working currently, or if you're working and you're wanting a better job, just get in contact with me. I just don't deal with people who are unemployed. I also, right now, as we get that unemployment rate back down as low as it was before the pandemic, I was working more with individuals wanting a better job.
Right.
It's the ABCs of job searching.
Right.
First, you need a job, then you want a better job, then you want a career. And so we had a lot of people moving from A to B and B to C before the pandemic.
Right.
And as we get the unemployment rate back down, we'll start to see that go up again.
Right. Is there a general type of job that's mostly available for people?
A lot of manufacturers are looking for help. That's the big one. Anybody who's got any experience in healthcare, nursing, CNAs, those people also, the people that work in our long-term care facilities right now, my hats are off. Hospitals, doctors' offices, with what they have to go through on a daily basis, again, my hat's off to those people. And they need help. CNAs, registered nurses, all that stuff.
Wow.
Especially all the contact with the COVID stuff, as easy it seems like with the contact, as easy as it is to get it. The nurses and the people, what you're talking about, the medical people or whatever, that would be so difficult. I mean, even with what you do in face-to-face meetings with people, if you have it, that just, you just have to be overly cautious until we kind of get through this episode. So.
What if a person wants a part-time job, Brian? Do you?
Well, I help with that too.
Is that right?
We have a lot of our older veterans. That's what they come in and wanting help with, is to find a part-time job. There's, Walmart, a lot of auto parts stores need people to deliver. Other places need couriers, like doctor's offices, hospitals, things like that. So there are those part-time jobs out there as well.
Okay. Because most people, I don't think, would think about that coming into your office. They would think it would, be for a full-time job.
Yeah.
But
hey, if you're wanting to work, come see me.
Yeah, there's a lot out there right now. I mean, it's on my phone constantly. People looking for employment.
And just driving around, look at all the now hiring signs you see.
Yeah, you're right. Everywhere I go, there's now we're now hiring. We're now hiring. Yeah, you're right. Just about everywhere. Yeah. So is it possible? And I talked about this in other areas too, that veterans, people who are being discharged, could be made aware of, your service. Is that what
we actually have a new partnership with an organization called NVETS, and they actually go around to different military bases. Well, before the pandemic hit, now they're doing a lot of it virtually. They go around a lot of the military bases and talk about the benefits of coming to Indiana to work.
Good.
And what they do is they actually refer those individuals to the DVOP that's closest to where they're maybe wanting to move.
Great. All right. Well, Brian, I want to thank you for being here today. You've always got some good information for our veteran community, and we need that. Well, again, that's good to see you back, brother.
We appreciate you, Brian, a lot more than you think, man.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
We appreciate it, too.
And folks, we want to thank you for tuning in to Proudly We Served. All right. See you, folks. Bye.
Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.